Hey, what's up? It's B plus. Now, I normally don't do segments like this, but I decided to do something a little bit different. In fact, this is my very first time reacting to something like this. And this is an interview, actually like more like a panel that Reach Records did, I guess around the time when they dropped the summer playlist, which was very, very dope, by the way. I dropped a lot of videos here on the channel with some of my friends within the Christian hip hop space. I'll probably put those links up here so you can go check those out if you want to. But this video series, or this panel interview series, came out back then. I thought this part was very fascinating. I started to do a video back then, but I just got busy, never did it. And I figured right now, WHATUPRG's album is out. And I figured this is a good time to revisit this and react to this and share it with you guys. So with that being said, let me go ahead and get this queued up and let's hop into it.
Yeah, I think it's reflective. Shout out to the younger artists. I would say that, like, by younger, I mean like probably 33 and under. You know what I'm saying? That generation just knows how to create collaborations. Like that's what I think my generation that looks back and like, oh, y'all's winning because you guys are Voltron in this thing. You work together, like, you know,
like you think of folks like Indie Tribe.
Yeah, Indie Tribe, Vert Mob.
Yes, Vert.
I mean, just people collaborating for 1K Famo. It just means like we're better together. And I always get this Warriors analogy a lot because it's just like teamwork. I know, of course. I mean, having dope talent is one thing, but pairing dope talent and collaborating with other people, it just makes each talent get access to be exposed and seen. And I feel like what I'm seeing outside of the building is people doing that, not waiting on Ace, Marcus, Lecrae to come and pull them out of this rut of Christian hip hop and, hey, put us on. Like, nah, we're gonna put ourselves on with each other, and that creates a multiplier effect that we love to invest in, because it's, for us, honestly, obviously, we can't sign everybody, but we can invest in the culture and just showcase to the broader culture the dope talent that we see. It just makes my heart full of joy to do that every day, and I feel like you guys are doing it.
Okay, so we'll kind of stop it there. What I really liked about that is, number one is Ace just being transparent and being open and saying like, hey, like, we kind of dropped the ball in this particular area. We really didn't reach out and collaborate in the ways that some of these younger artists are. So I just appreciate that that vulnerability and that transparency, because I mean, there's clicks all over the place. We got the Glow Click, I think that's what they call themselves, Miles Minnick out there in the Bay. They're doing their thing, like they mentioned, Vert Mob, 1K Famo, obviously Indie Tribe, and there's a bunch of others. TLS, that's another group that's really grinding together, doing their thing. NCO, I really want to see more from NCO. As well, the New Christian Order, but things like that, just really kind of growing within their own fan base, like you said, rather than just kind of waiting for a bigger label like Reach Records or GOM or any of the other ones, really, to wait and put them on. They're just growing within their group, growing within their clique, and I really enjoyed that. And this is actually from the first session, and now I want to hop over to some of the points where it was Lecrae, Ace, and I believe WHATUPRG, and that's part 2, I believe, of this We Are the Movement series. So let's go ahead and cue that part up now.
I think the future's in good hands, like, just being honest, like, and it ain't just with Reach, just in general. Like, I love what's happening. I love seeing like the you know, the movements happening everywhere. You know what I'm saying? So I think the future's in good hands. And
the reason why I'll stop it here just because I like how he's referencing the different movements. That's why I kind of paired these two videos together, this being part 2, and he's talking about those different movements, those different collectives that are all over. And it's interesting here how he's choosing his words very carefully and just trying to make sure that he's articulating himself articulating himself well, because people always love taking Lecrae out of context. So I like how thoughtful he's being as he says this next statement.
For me, it's gonna take intentionality on like fusing together, because we're stronger together than we are apart.
Yeah.
Who's stronger together?
I thought that was a really good question to ask, who he means, just to kind of get some more clarification.
Hip hop artists out there, like the Holy Smoke Festival is a great situation where people can come together and be like, all right, we can move as a unit, collaborate as a unit. Because if one wins, we all start winning. That's where I say I dropped the ball personally.
Now, this is the part where it gets interesting, where he starts talking about dropping the ball, and he gives his reasons why he feels like he dropped the ball.
Is I started winning, and I was like a little too particular about who I brought with me, because I was too worried about everybody thinking we was lame. So I was only like, nah, you gotta be really dope if I'm gonna bring you with me. Andy, you can come, propaganda, you know what I'm saying? And instead of just being like, yo, I'm a Christian hip hop artist, we out here, you know.
And I hear his critique of himself, and I think some of that critique of himself is what other people have been saying to him, and now he's like saying that out loud. You start to believe what the critics are saying about you. But I don't agree with that critique of him, but we'll let it keep going.
I would have did that different.
That's interesting. What was your, specifically because you named them names, like what was your metric for, what was the litmus for who you?
At that point in time, you had to have impressive rhymes, because the culture cared about lyricism when I was coming up. So if your bar game was not impressive to the gatekeepers in hip hop, I probably wasn't gonna point at you. You know what I'm saying? Because I was like, nah.
And I feel like that's fair. But I'll let him keep going.
If real talk, I was like, you ain't finna embarrass us out here.
I think it was necessary though.
Yeah.
Like I know you probably think like you dropped the ball, but I feel like.
And this is the part that's really key. This is the part that's really key of why I wanted to do this video in the first place. So check out what RG says right here.
You set a standard for what like dope music looked like and sounded like. So I don't think you dropped the ball.
All right, so you heard WHATUPRG and his kind of rebuttal to what Lecrae said. And like I said, do I really feel like Lecrae feels that way about how he moved, or is he just reciting what critics have been saying about him over these years? I don't know, but I loved WHATUPRG's response, just because I really do feel like it's important. It was kind of important that he kind of held things kind of close to his chest and was very particular in like who he co-signed. I think that's necessary, because I've heard this and people have told me this even here recently. People will say that well, obviously before I say that, I'll say this. There was this coming up like late 90s, early 2000s. Like I've been a fan for that long. I've been a fan since like the mid 90s, that Christian rap was corny. And it went through that phase. And to be honest, I've been a fan since 1999. I always say that. I'll probably need to just go ahead and do a video on the year 1999 and why I became a Christian hip hop fan, but that's another story for another day. I feel like it's necessary to just kind of address those two stereotypes that it had, like that Christian rap was corny. Just because there were some good rappers here and there. There were some good record labels here and there, but would I call it corny? No, but I will say that it just really wasn't up to par to what secular was doing. And like I said, I get this comment, and I got it here recently, that if it's Christian rap, it's automatically better than secular rap because it's talking about Christ, so therefore it's better than secular. And I don't believe that. I just don't believe that just because something is Christian is better than its secular counterpart. It's like for instance, I didn't plan on doing this, but we're here now. We're gonna do it. So say I drew something, and this is terrible. But you kind of get my point here. So say I draw this, but what if it's like really good? Like, so this is a man here, a stick figure man looking up at the cross with a smile on his face. Is it fair for me just to automatically say that that's better than something that Banksy does, just because this is a Christian drawing? And of course, I'm making a point, but even if there was this, like, you know how you go to like those conferences and I won't say it's getting old, but when people, they have like worship music going on and they're painting and they paint something upside down, you have no clue what it is, and then like the big loud moment of the Christian song in church, they flip it over and it's like Jesus crying and he's looking up or something like that. It's a fantastic skill, but is it fair to say that that's automatically better than the Mona Lisa or whatever? I just don't think that just because something is Christian makes it automatically better in an artistic sense. Is it more redemptive? Yes. Is it more salvific? Maybe. Like it has more, does it have more eternal value to it? Yes. But does it automatically mean it's better? I don't necessarily think that that's the case. Just because it's a Christian album doesn't mean it's better than Kendrick Lamar's album. You actually have to have skill and put a whole lot into your art for me to go ahead and say that it's better. So that's that piece. And I will actually, yeah, I'm gonna cue up one more piece and let you guys hear this.
I would have definitely been more like owned. I didn't know, nobody had ever been where I've been before, so I didn't know how to handle it. Yeah. But I would have owned it more. Like now we own it and it's our thing. It's like, yeah, holy smoke.
It's dope too, because you see it like last month I went to all 3 festivals. It was like Holy Smoke, Ciervos, and then Glowchella. So it was like Atlanta, Houston, and in the Bay. And it was like every festival was the same vibe. Like everybody's like on the same energy. Everybody's like focused on a mission. Everybody's united. There's no egos. There's no pride. So I think to your point, like I think where we're at is it. It's just a matter of like moving forward and continuing what already started.
That's dope.
So yeah, so that's what I wanted to share there. And in that last clip, what WHATUPRG is saying as far as him going to these different festivals and seeing just like how everybody's doing something at a very high level. I don't think that we would be here now if it wasn't for Lecrae kind of holding things close to his chest and not really just putting everybody on. Like I'm sure that all the artists at that time would have loved it, because the Christian hip hop space would have loved it if he just would have just been like, start naming any and everybody within the Christian hip hop space. But I feel like by him being selective, he was able to point to just a select few. And I'm not saying that Lecrae put either one of them on, Propaganda or Andy. I mean, Propaganda was around long before Lecrae, and Andy obviously came after him. But at the same time, I'll say that if artists are objective and have self-awareness, they would know that like, man, like Andy and Prop are really, really good. And if those are the ones that that Lecrae's talking about on Sway in the Morning or whatever radio station he was on, like if they're really trying to sharpen their craft, they would have looked at them and said like, oh, I need to get on that level to get better. And I feel like that's what happened. I feel like a lot of people, they wanted to be named among those people who, when the large Christian hip hop artists got on these radio shows like Andy or like Lecrae, that they would mention them. And I feel like it just kind of pushed and sharpened everybody. I remember a few years back, I remember Dayton, he called out Lecrae about this issue. And I feel like it was a very fair critique. But and Dayton's been a beast. I'm not saying that he's better now because of Lecrae not mentioning him. I think that it was a fair critique of from Dayton's perspective, and I think Lecrae responded to it. But that's neither here nor there. What I'm saying is when you are able to look objectively at your own career and say like, hey, like, yeah, there are some people who are really good at this, and if I want to get there, and if I want to get on some of these stages and be able to proclaim the gospel in the way that I feel like the Lord's calling me to, that I need to sharpen my skills. So I don't feel like Lecrae dropped the ball. I'm actually happy that he held things close to his chest, like I did with this silly drawing here. I just don't feel like it's fair just to say that, hey, just because this is Christian, it's automatically better than what the world has to offer. Be great, be excellent at what you do. Yeah, that's just my point of view when it comes to Christian hip hop. I do feel like WHATUPRG said, I do feel like we're in a really, really great space. He just dropped his album last weekend. 1K Few is dropping his album. Well, actually, he dropped it today. And then you have DJ Mike LV of Indie Tribe. He's dropping Bodega coming up really soon. I think Ecleso dropped the album today. And man, there's just so much more. I'm forgetting somebody. Somebody else here recently dropped something. It slipped my mind, but there's so much. And if you want to hear more about just like my taste in Christian hip hop, you can follow the channel. I'm blessed to have a radio show with Holy Culture Radio on Sirius XM channel 154 each and every Saturday. That's at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 5 o'clock Central. So you can definitely feel free to check that out. So yeah, I appreciate you guys checking out this video. Like I said, the first time doing something like this, have fun doing it. Maybe many more of these to come. So with that being said, peace in, confusion out, and be positive.